Good morning, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And
Mhm.
today we are here with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. She's in the house, and we are always excited when she's here because she's dropping nuggets everywhere to live better and to run our businesses more efficiently. Um, what can I say? Coach Caren has run child care centers, janitorial businesses. She's been in manufacturing. She's done all kinds of things in the entrepreneurial vein that can help you run your business better. So be sure to get your pencil and pen. Let's take some notes, okay? Because we don't want to miss anything. Welcome, Coach. What do you
Thank
have for
you.
us today?
Today we're talking about social wealth, but before we dive in, let me take you back. We started since the end of May talking about studying wealth. So this month we looked at time wealth and we looked at physical wealth, which is your health. And today we're looking at social wealth. And yes, I'm going to end it with financial wealth. I will get there, but I want you guys to see that there's all these other layers to
Mm-hmm.
wealth. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you dive in financially, that's usually why the money escape you also, because you're not understanding this whole aspect of what happens. You either give it away because you're not used to having it in your hand. Time wealth, you're not understanding what it's going to do for you time wise, even though you think you know, but you haven't explored and understand.
Mm-hmm.
And if the physical part is being able to enjoy the wealth that you've created along the way. I encourage all my clients, get on some kind of program, create it yourself. I can help you do it. Hire a personal trainer, whatever you need, but get yourself there, figure it out. If you don't know how to feed yourself well, learn how. There's no shame in your game. Learn well. When I was in college, I remember a friend of mine saying to me, I can't believe your elective at one point was in nutrition. I noticed I was gaining weight and I took a elective in nutrition. I glad I did. I learned things that I didn't know. I thought I knew, and I got one of the most wonderful professors at the time, and she was fantastic about it. And these are the things that you need to learn. I tell my kids all the time, and others. College, university, and those places of higher learning is not only for the subject you're going for; it's just so many other things around it. And the same thing
Mm-hmm.
goes for money. It's all the other layers of things that help you to build, stay
That's so
strong,
true.
and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the couple of things we're going to look at today. What are the benefits of social wealth? Would you say, part of building social wealth is building relationships? And is social wealth part of showing your gratitude? If you look at it that way, I was bringing it with a different spin because really want to expand you guys and have you guys think about things beyond just when you hear it. Like keep it, move it around in your mind, and watch how
Mm-hmm.
things show up to support what you're thinking and working yourself through. So, without any further ado, let's talk about what are the benefits of social wealth.
Okay.
First of all, what is social wealth? It's
That's a
right now,
good question.
what is social wealth, right? Social wealth is like social media that we have here. But let me tell you what social wealth foundationally and what has always been before the internet exists. Social wealth was the relationship you were building with your neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
with your family, with your friends. Those are your social wealth. And here why those people are help you build your social wealth. In the olden days, we talk stories, we hang out, and it feels like we're just hanging. We're each other companion. We hear each other's stories and we build each other up. Those are relationship building things, but it go beyond that because if you watch yourself, every single one of us, we've got stories to tell about remember when. Those remember when is part of your social wealth. They got you to where you are right now. They were part of your puzzle. Now it's on social media. And if you take time to build it, you would see it's different because you're not touching, but it's the same if you invest the time in it. And so
Mm-hmm.
I say to people, when you meet, and I've met quite a few people since I'm online in person, the BizChicks as well, and people who came over to Canada, right? And we met on Zoom, and And it's always be, I guess everybody says it, Karen, you're the same when I meet you in person. I'm like, yeah, the genuine people and the people who really truly want to have what they say they want to have, you are who you are. There's no scheming and dodging from it. And when I first came online, I would say to people, sell to the people you know, and they'll say to me, Karen, those people won't buy from you. And I say to them, it's just the way you might be addressing it. My first customers have always been my friends. Those are the people that I sell to first. They might be critical, they might be harsh, it feels like, but they tell you the truth because they know you and they're telling you to better you. Mightn't be delivered the way you want to hear it, but they'll tell you. If you're making pans and your pans doesn't fit well, they'll tell you. Your job is to go in and ask them, well, what do you notice is not working well? And they'll tell you, go fix it. Don't get upset. Because if you sell it to a stranger, he or she's not going to tell you, but they now won't buy anymore. But your friends will buy from you. So I started in the food industry. And so anything that didn't come out well, my friends felt no way in saying to me, Karen, this don't work, girl. This one doesn't work. And I would go in and correct it. Those people, the reason they're my social wealth is because I couldn't build financially without they cheering me on, helping me, moving me through and getting me through. Those people are important. When they don't work for you is when also you're afraid. So you send out your feelings first. So by the time you ask them to buy from you, and remember, guys, I'm not talking about scan things. I'm not talking about things you're not really knowing of, because I don't shut down MLM, but I don't like it. But if you're going to sell LML, for example, and you want to sell to your family, you can't push it on them. You have to be able to sit down and explain what is it you want to do. What is it you want to get out of them and how you're asking for their support. And if they say to you, I can't support you at this time, you say, thank you. But do you know anybody who can help me? And if they say no again, you want to leave it alone. And
Yeah.
you don't want to disrupt that relationship because it's going to come around. If you truly believe what you're doing, I don't care what it is you're selling, over time, those people are going to say to you, Terry, I remember you telling me about this spray. You still know who does it? Or are you still doing it? Give them time. You might feel you need them to give you an answer today, but they might not be ready because they don't know yet. They don't know anything about it. They just know the kind of relationship you have with them. This social wealth is so important, guys. But because it's not tangible, sometimes we don't even pay attention to it. And we don't
Yes.
realize what it could do for us.
Uh-huh. Wow. Yeah. I think it's just like, you know, I think about when you talk about this, I think about how when we're doing things with our kids, like if they're selling candy for the band, or
Mm-hmm.
they're, have some kind of fundraising thing going on. And we call up all our friends and our relatives and ask them to buy stuff from the kids.
Mm-hmm. We do. I
That's,
did for my kids. Yeah.
that's social wealth.
Yeah, that is. Or when, years ago, people before Corona, a lot of people knock on my door and say, I'm looking for a sponsor. My kid runs or play basketball and I really need a sponsor. At the time, they'll see my car had the signage on it. Do you know the person who runs this business? And, we'll get to talking. I'll ask them what it is. And I'm going to tell you, I've sponsored quite a few teams already in my time through my business. And the ones that get my sponsorship is the ones who want to spend the time explaining where the pain is with the kids, what's happening, what's going on, what they're trying to achieve. And they understand that when they come to me, I'm not going to give them money right away. We're going to go through a processes. But those people who have the patience and understand the processes get more out of the business from me, sponsorship wise, versus the one who want $5 here or $10 there. And so you have to understand that part of it too. It's never overnight. It's a processes.
Okay. Wow. I never thought about that.
So that's part of
Long-term
social wealth.
relationships
Mm-hmm.
versus hit and miss relationships.
Mm-hmm. It really just power through. When people are in business and doing well, they understand. Initially, it's you creating everything, you doing everything, but over time, you're realizing that it's people that come into your lives and help build you as you go along. I couldn't be the coach you see in front of you if I didn't have people who watched me and asked for my help. And in they asking for my help, it let me know that I was doing something good. And then once the results came about, I realized I was doing something great. Matter of fact, I didn't realize it. They tell me, you're doing something great here. You are
Mhm.
changing people's lives.
Yes.
You are you're helping people see things that they never see for themselves. And I
Mhm.
remember the first time those words were spoken to me, I sat down and thinking to myself, but I didn't do anything. Because when you're young and you get certain compliments, you can't see it.
Mhm.
I mean, you know it, you acknowledge, but you really can't fully comprehend what somebody is saying to you and how you've changed people's lives. And I've been fortunate to, thanking God only this morning. I've just been fortunate to be able to change so many lives along the way.
Yes. Mhm.
And that's all the social, this that that was built into that, right? And number two, we want to talk about I talk about it a little bit, but let's get into it further. How would you, say part of building social wealth is building a relationship? It makes it
Mhm.
stronger. It makes it stronger when somebody can talk to you about something and you can go correct it and bring it back to the table and say, hey, girl, this is what I do to it. I
Uh-huh.
remember the first time I was doing pajamas. And when I designed the pajamas, I had the brilliant design in my head. And of course, I created the design. But getting the heads in the pajamas was not good. And so I did it when I had my daycare. So I would sell to my daycare parent. And a few of them, people liked it. But the people that were closer to me would say, Karen, I like it, but the neckline has a problem. And so I spent weeks rectifying because I didn't want to change my design, but I wanted an easy slip in and an easy slip out.
Yes.
Also, they were able to come back to me and say, the buttons here I don't like. I rather the buttons at the shoulder or an enclosure in the neck. Those feedback was so valuable. And they felt so confident and so close to me in relationship wise that they can come and say to me, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And they
Uh-huh.
had bought it. Or they'll say to me, Karen, it is so beautiful. I don't know if I want to send my kid to bed with these beautiful pajamas. I mean, my daughter wore her to the store the other day, and a lady asked, where did you get those pretty things? And she says, oh, my daycare teacher sells them. And you see what I'm talking about? And we
Mhm.
ain't gonna get into finance. Look at that. Next week, somebody saw it because she let the kid wear it out.
Mhm.
There goes a customer to me. Am I not listening to the relationship I've built with this woman who says, here's the neckline, is not right. I don't like what's happening with the buttons and all these different things
Mhm.
that make my business do better because I took the feedback and run with it. Another thing in my nightwear line, I used to do soft buttons, and people loved it. Meaning, I created buttons out of fabric, and so the kid would have no problem sleeping or turning or hurting their face or everything. And people complimented me on it. So there's the things that they're going to ask you to change, but there's the things that they're going to love from your business. You want to take it. You want to put that in the plus side. People very rarely tell you all the bad without telling you the good.
That's a good thing. It's good to have positive feedback.
Mhm. But you want to have both. We're so afraid of the negative part or the ones that we call negative when really it's just information gathering so that you can do better in your business. Listen to it. If somebody tell me I'm not delivering right, I'm going to ask a bunch of questions. If you come to coach with me and you say, well, I coach with you and I wasn't able to do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to ask a bunch of questions. Did you actually do the work I set out for you to do? Did you spend time doing X, Y, and Z? What was the results when you did that? Did you come back to me and have us discuss, excuse me, what's next or how you can do it differently so that you can do great in it? And sometimes it's that little thing, right? Whether me or another coach, you got to talk to your coach. You got to let them know that maybe the information they're giving you is not registering because you're not on the level. And this part people do not like, but I'm going to say it. You're not on the level yet to receive what a coach has given you. You got to step back and say, hey, coach, maybe this is my first coaching. I've never had coaching before, so I don't truly understand what I need to do. Or I've had coaching before, but I've never had to go this deep. So it's really making my heart go pitter patter. Remember, a client said that to me. It makes me, I don't want to do the work because you're making me really go and think. And I realize I don't want to go that deep with myself. That's conversation that you're having with your coach that is so important. And she knows that you're not ready to go there yet. You need to be on not surface, but just tiny bit below the surface. You're not ready yet to go dig. So you're not ready yet to move the business. That's the other thing people don't understand. When you're not ready yet to go further than just below the surface, you're not ready yet also to climb your business. This is a twofold thing. And sometimes we don't realize that because we want what we want. Maybe we just need money to pay for this or get out of debt for that. So we just want it. But if we understand where we are, we'll do better. Better. And now let's talk about jobs. When you're in a job and you're feeling really terrible, that's because you're also doing a rotten job in your job. This is things you gotta own up to, right?
That is funny. That is funny. Yeah. Because you're not going to do a good job if you don't feel good about it.
No.
Mm.
And then this is like this roller coaster, right? You're feeling bad, you're doing bad, it's just going around in a circle, right? You can't build a good relationship with yourself much as anybody else, and then you can't carry through to do what else you got to do. But I'm telling you, there's people out here doing really well because they might not understand it to the full capacity, but they're understanding some portions of it. And that's helping them to move because you don't have to know everything right away. I'm in my 50s. So, guys, I learned a lot along the way. I didn't know that in my teenage years. I know some in my 20s. I know some in my 30s. When I hit 40, I knew a lot of things about a lot of things, but that's 30 years of learning.
Yes.
Now it's 50 years of learning and understanding and compounding and all these things also are compounding stuff. We talk about compounding when it comes to money, but that's about life. That's about our social aspect. That's about our health. Anything that you don't do today, if you wait till tomorrow, you've just lost and some sort of interest along the way. Money you can market because you can say, if I was getting 6 or 8% on my money and I didn't do this year, I lost a whole 8% on it. And if you're just saving $100, it doesn't feel like a lot. But if it was 100,000 and you lost 8% for that year, it's a lot of money. You start understanding that. But that happens in your social interest too. Your social wealth. If you're not building relationships, I don't want you to be that person who says, no, I don't build friendships. I don't want any friends. I kind of feel sorry for you. Friends are important. Not because you want to use them. They're important to you, but you're important to them.
Good morning, Dr. Tachi.
Morning, Doc. You're important to them and they're important to you. It's good to have good friendships. And by the way, you need all type of friendships. You need those really focused, good, warm and fuzzy friendship. You need those friendship that help you with your emotions. You need those friendship that is just right on the surface. They don't go deep and it's okay. You don't need to go deep with everybody. And let me tell you guys, I learned that in my 30s. I used to think I have to be deep with everybody. Because I was just that deep person. Like if we're not talking deep stuff, like why are we friends? And then I start realizing I don't have to be that way with everybody. The people are serving. I'm serving them what they need, and they're serving me what I need. And the people who were just landing right on the surface, they still bought from me. We still talk and we had good friendships. They just weren't in the space of deepness at the moment or with me. And that was okay. We talk about what they need, them and I, to talk about, or the group to talk about. That's still building your social wealth because it's coming from these different pockets, right? These different pockets of people. You're serving them and they're serving you. Every person that you have in your pocket, you can serve them and they can serve you. It's just at a different level. Think about this. I'm a coach and I also teach, right? So you might be able to come pay to coach with me, but you might be in the bracket where you can buy a course, right? Or you can just pay for a one-time conversation.
Yes.
So you're not ready to be in those areas. And I'm very much, even with my kids, if I am doing a coaching session, if we're talking strategic things, I'm not their mom. I come out of the mom role immediately. I'm like, what are we talking about? Especially if it's job situation, I'm like, I'm not going to be a mom right now. Let's beat it out the way you want to be, what you want to do in this capacity, which means there's no mommy stuff happening. It's just me and them talking about, I would talk to a stranger. I would talk to somebody that I'm building a relationship with. What's next, what we're doing. And it helps them because they feel more free in talking to me versus when it's the mommy thing. A lot of things get hold back. And I do the promise that I wouldn't bring it up when I'm in my mommy role. because I want them to feel safe,
Mm,
right? And that happens when you're dealing with people on different level. If they're
yeah.
not deep people, you can't get into the deep stuff with them. If you do, you're going to lose them. Maybe over time, but initially you just can't get into deep stuff with it because they're not ready for it. You got to give
Wow.
them time.
Okay, that's good to know. So you have relationships at different levels. You have
Hmm.
acquaintances, you have
Exactly.
friends, you have, family. You have
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and if you're at a job right now, your workplace are like your best people. It's just how you look at people. I've never worked anywhere and not be able to sell anything that I was selling. Let's just say it.
Makes sense.
I go in and get my customers.
Hmm.
And we move on. I quit my job. I went to college, and those people remain my customer right through college. Like they'll call me up, order stuff. That was my food business, and I'll deliver. I said, guys, I only serve up on the weekend. I got to study. And everybody
Hmm.
understood. Everybody waited. Friday and Saturday, pronto. Money in my hand, delivery ready. you know,
Wow, that's a good thing.
yeah,
And
so I want you to, it's not like you're looking at them as your money bags, but it's just understanding how this thing flow, right?
hmm.
My mom had some friends, and I remember I was telling her something, and she says, Karen, I guess that's why they move their financial wealth better than us. I said, yeah. I said, if you got really close friendship, like the deep ones, and let's say you really looking at building wealth, and part of it is socially, here's another thing I'm going to talk about later on in the finance, but I can give you a little tip here. Let's say you were buying, you had 6 people, and you each needed at the time something at a store, for example, because
Hmm.
you build a social relationship with them and you and them talk about stuff. You, let's say a washer and dryer or a washer was selling for 500, but if you went and buy 6 washers or 6 dryers or whatever, you can get a discount, and you've got these beautiful women or families that you interact with socially at every level.
Hmm.
Each person might be able to save $100, $200, whatever the case might be.
Hmm.
This is other pockets of it that sometimes we don't even realize is important. That goes for furnishing your house. I personally know people who this is how they furnish their place when they buy it. Get together in a group, buy at a wholesale level, and everybody wins.
Wow.
Everybody wins. Building well, guys, is not only the money, it's just so many different little aspects of it. When you put it together, it's a really well rounded thing. It takes
This
time.
is interesting because a lot of people are like, why do I need to be in all these different groups? Because they serve a different purpose.
Hmm. They really do. I mean, we online now, so everything is we hear about it. But people been in circles forever. In Guyana, where I came from, we got our own circle of how we do things, right? We got different things that we do, but we really community oriented. I would say when you are in sales, when like my business was food, and my community support me without waiver. They
Mm.
support me when I'm selling. They support me when they see my business or is not moving. Let's say I sell 5 days a week and they notice in 2 to 3 days I'm not up. People will literally come to say, so what's going on, Karen? Are you okay? Are you feeling good? Is something's happening? Something's happening you don't want to talk about right now, but we can help in some way or form. These are my customers that I've built relationships with. That some are surface, some are deep, but they're still
Mhm.
coming to check to see what's happening. And I would do the same in their
Dr. Tachi says that's an amazing idea about, being able to collectively buy wholesale. I think that's what she's referring to.
it,
Mm.
it, it really is, Doc. It really is. It's one of those things that when you do it and you see what can happen from it, you start changing how you view your dollars, how it's spent, what happens, what's going on, and in so many other areas that you know. And is social well part of showing gratitude? It is. It is. It is showing gratitude in your social world. When you look around, I am ever so grateful for the people when I had my food business who would come together and literally just ask me, Karen, what can I do? And not in the capacity, I'm doing this for you so I can get this. Just what could I do? And they show up. People who showed up for me 5 o'clock in the morning, who showed up for me 6 o'clock in the morning, and take me where I need to be because I didn't have transportation and bring me back. Not only because of transportation, but for the safety aspect of it. They wanted to make sure I was safe. And they did that months and months and months until we figure out how I didn't have to show up, but it could be delivered. You know, that's a strong building that took a while to build, but everybody played their part. And me, when they need me, I am showing up, whether it's dollars, whether it's time, conversation, it didn't matter what it is. I am showing up just for them as they would show up for me.
Wow.
Hand wash in hand. And I'm ever so grateful for them because they didn't wait to see what I'm going to do. I remember when the first person offered, I'm not gonna lie, and he still come back and buy from me later today. I thought to myself, I should just give it to him. And he said to me, are you crazy? I will not take it for free. This is a business. And literally just paid me like anybody else.
You know, that is so important because we will give away the store. Our heart is in the right
Oh,
place. We
girl.
will give away the store. And then after we make the money, we would just give it away. And you mentioned this when we got started about how, we'll give it away. It's
Mhm.
because for whatever reason.
Yeah. However we're feeling, however we're doing, we'll just do that. And he in turn teach me something, right away. He said that later on. He says, you don't have to give me anything. I want to do this for you. We
Mhm.
want to do this for you. We
We
want to help you.
we did
People
this out of the
genuinely,
goodness of our heart,
yes.
and now you want to pay us for that?
Yeah. We genuinely want to do this for you. And that's years ago in Guyana, right? That's why I always say half of South America and half of North America, if they came together, they'll do some great things because we have so much to offer on each end. I know everybody else, but that's what I talk about a lot, right? We have a lot to offer. Fast forward right here in Canada, right here in North America, I've
Mhm.
been given so many gifts because I've been generous with my social wealth to people and they've just come in and just hug it up and just give it right back to me.
Mhm.
That's what we need to understand, in spite of whatever's happening to you. I promise you guys, if you hear me talking, you say, well, Caren, coach, you're talking about money right now. I'm talking about having nothing. Let me tell you, this doesn't take you money to build.
Mhm.
It takes time, but it doesn't take you money to build. And it takes as much time that you want to give it and as much time that it's needed.
Okay.
As much time as you want to give it and as much time as is needed. Because when you talk to somebody, everybody, even if they don't know what it is, they know if you're genuine and if you want to help.
There you go.
It's as simple as that. And they know if you don't want to help.
Mhm.
They know. Even if they don't tell you or they don't understand fully why, give them some time and let them go where they'll realize she never really wanted or he never really wanted to help me. They just wanted to see what I would give them. People know.
Wow.
People know.
Woo! Oh my goodness. Social wealth. Oh, coach, this was a lesson. This was a
Thank you.
serious lesson today.
It is.
Talking about social wealth. We have so many different types of wealth that you've been talking to us about. Last time you talked to us about our health. Just take a walk, do
Yeah.
something that
Yes.
will change, that will move the needle. And
Yeah.
right now, I guess we should say to a lot of people around the globe, hydrate.
Yeah.
Make sure you,
Yeah.
yeah.
Make sure you're drinking your water. Make sure you're drinking your water.
And something as simple as water can cure a lot of
A
things.
lot of things.
It can wash a lot of things out
Mhm,
of your system.
mhm,
And
mhm.
so social wealth is really important. I never thought of it in that way, but relationships are key.
It
So,
is so key. It is so key to everything I sell. My friends and I went on a cruise in we went at the end of April. In
mhm,
May, a couple of couples, our kids, they're grown up now. The kids were just hanging and laughing how they went when they were younger. Now they're all adults and they were on the cruise with us. It's just wonderful that, I think it's about 12 of us was on the cruise. We
mhm.
come together, and guys, we buy it as a package, which means we got a discount. Everything we do it that way. You'd be surprised what we would spend on a cruise, what we
Mhm.
spend on tickets, because She'll just do it on a group, um, you know, and everybody pile the money in. We're honest with each other. Sometimes she pay for the whole thing, and we all just send our money over to her. She tells us
Mhm.
how it's going to be. We send the money, and we know it's a good discount. When we get on the ship, we get credits, which means we get more money again in our pocket because we did it as a group. So I can tell you, group works. In travel, in buying things, you get yourself the people. You don't wait till you're ready. And you start small. If you're not sure, you start small, right? Get
Mhm.
trusted people there and do things. Sometimes you're gonna lose out. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you we didn't have our, people who snag on us. But when that happened in the group, we come together and we don't just fall apart and say, well, this person pull out or this person. We don't sit around doing that. We bent our mind on how can we fill that back in and keep moving
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
and keep moving.
Wow, this is good. This is good. I never even thought about, and one suggestions like Dr. Todd you was talking about how you're talking about like group buying,
Hmm.
coming together to be a force in the marketplace. Wow,
Yes, yes.
that's amazing. Well, Coach, we just want to remind everybody that if they're looking to find you online, that they can find you at Profits in Daily.
Yes, they can.
And Coach Caren has a Facebook group, and she also has a course. So let me see if I can pull up this
Mhm.
course. I think I had
We
a
want you to see what the course is about, how we want you to see how everything is possible for you.
now.
Course of possibility, excuse me.
This is the link to book an appointment.
Yes, that's the link to book an appointment.
Mhm.
You get your business edited. We see where you are. You get strategy to move forward. We set
And-
you up, and if you only wanted one session, this is what you would pay for, and you'd go right ahead and get it done on your own. If you want anything further, one in the session, we'll talk about what you can do to move forward or buy a bigger package and stuff like that.
Yes, so I put that in the comments, and I'm
Mhm.
also going to put the link for Coach Karen's course
Okay.
in the comments right underneath that.
All
So,
right.
guys, hold on a moment, and I'll have that in there for you. Tell us a little bit about the course while
And
I'm.
the course is about a vision of possibilities. I tell you, anything you want is possible and it's out there for you to get, right? And when you see yourself today, it's all the things you've been promising yourself yesterday to have today. Good or bad. Now, when you set intentions and you go forth, you watch them, it feels like it magically happens. But you
Mhm.
set the course and you don't deviate. Yes, life is going to deviate you, but you don't deviate from it. You get up in the morning, you say what you're going to do, and you do it every single morning. Yes, it's boring. Yes, it's tedious. It feels like it's going nowhere, but it's going so many places. I promise you. And people are watching, and people want to go on the ride with you, and people want to journey with you. Yes, they do. But you first have to want to do it, set up the time and place to go do it. And this course is going to help you do just that.
So remember, you can find Coach Karen at Profits in Daily on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to tune in to her channel. And Coach, we just want to thank you for all that you
You're
do,
welcome.
for your faithfulness, how you show up here and just pour out your heart to us and the benefits of your experience you share with us. So we thank you again for that. And we will remind everybody that tomorrow we'll be talking with Robin Shimizu and friends, talking about happy, healthy habits. And Friday we'll be talking tech with the Tech Divas. So we want to thank you all for who are watching live and on the replay. And we ask that you please take time to go to the front of your own line. Have a great day, and we will see you soon. Bye bye, everyone.